Welcome everybody, we are back live here, Rigas Rudens, the dessert of the day, the finals, women's division. We're starting off with a game between Estonian girls, and they're starting strong with a fast break against DTS 1-0.
The atmosphere here in the hall is hot. We hear DTS fans from Lithuania. They have always been really loud in these kind of games. And we hear a lot of Estonian support. I believe that this game goes point by point. We're going to hear a lot of cheering for both teams.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the Vorai is super loud today, and I think Estonian boys also heard some support from the girls, so they just can't stand off in this. Leave their girls dry. Now DTS, nice break on the first pass. Resnikaite to Bora in the center. She gets the disc. Gedvilaite with a strong undercut. Dumps it back to Resnikaite again. Šlamaite up the line. Getting closer and closer to the end zone. Stokite is rising. High pass in the end zone, and Bora scores.
Yeah, I believe that was a really high stall count on that throw. We saw a good pressure from Estonians keeping the Lithuanians on the sideline. And to be honest, it seemed a little bit as a hospital pass to the end zone. Interesting that DTS started with a vertical stack, and the first action came from the handlers cutting up line. Let's see what Estonians put on offense.
Yeah, in very first point, Estonians just had a couple passes down the line and scored an easy point in the open side. So we couldn't actually tell how they're gonna play. Big blade across, and it's a bit too high, and it's the first turnover of the game, and it's an opportunity for DTS. Julia Petrovaite now taking the scuba, swings around to Juste. Big undercut, still not advancing a lot. Šlamaite now, one of the two sisters playing in the Lithuanian squad. High stall count. Sends it back, a big scuba across the field. Huge layout, but it's not enough.
Yeah, again, Estonians keeping DTS on the sideline, and this was a big distance for a scuba throw. So good pressure on D. Let's see how they manage to keep the offense. Now they're switching to vertical stack, a long throw to the end zone. A nice D and a good follow-up from number 21. Making sure that if there is an option, it's gonna be brought down and the point is scored.
Yeah, we saw that Petrovaite slammed the disc quite hard, but still, she probably should have gone for the grab. That's why they're saying catch your Ds, and this proved that really well. Still, after a couple of turnovers, Estonians managed to hold their offensive point. So we are still on the serve. No breaks so far.
Now on the sideline we see a really long roster for Lithuanians. And a couple of subs for Estonian girls. Now a long upline throw. And it's only the open side throws. That should be managed by the cutter defenders. Not a good point from Estonian defense. Getting broken on the open side. That is always a pity for the team on the defense. We see Estonians having their coach talking to them actively, trying to adjust some things. Now pull goes up.
Estonian start. Huge hockey in the end zone. And a bit too far. It looked like almost a set play there. But still, it didn't work out, and now DTS Getvilaite starting with a huge hammer under big pressure. Huge sky and passes in the end zone from the Petroskaite.
Yeah, we saw from Estonians not enough edge on that disc, a bit too flat. And now DTS, I think Estonians read the play really well, that the disc is going to go into the break side. But two Estonians went up for the defense, and it was unlucky for them, and the offense player got into the end zone alone.
Yeah, Petroskaite definitely hero in that pass, but also Bassus keeping the play and running to the end zone. Meanwhile, again, Estonians, just couple passes, and they score with a hammer of their own.
Yeah, in Latvian we say this one was a candy. This was a really nice throw, a really nice cut from the cutter as well to open that break side. I believe they used this a lot in practices, and this time it also worked in the game. It's 3-3, so I think both teams have managed to keep their offenses, right, Yanis?
I actually believe that DTS is one break ahead because Estonians started with a hold. So DTS are one break up. Resnikaite on the sideline. Big pressure on the mark. Still Resnikaite managed to swing around and hand block on the throw. Huge interception there.
And I heard Estonians saying go home for that D. They are gonna get their offense back. Well, I like to see there are a lot of experienced players on both teams. And again, Estonians score with a hammer on the break side. Probably would suggest Lithuanians to switch sides, just to switch the force, just to see whether it works better. Let's see, will they make this strategic adjustment on the play? But Estonians happy to get back in front.
Yeah, we are back on serve after this huge hand block that lead us to the break. And now Estonians fans are getting louder and louder. Petrovaite now giving this back to Šlamaite. Nice give and go movement and a bit too far. And another opportunity for Estonians to break.
Estonians without setting up a real offense setup. Just picking up the disc and starting a cuts. Now a break swing should follow. A lot of space in front of the thrower. Well, it's gonna be one-on-one in the end zone. Virga with the disc. And here again, getting broken on the open side. As mentioned before, this is a tough thing for defense.
Really nice cutting and faking in end zone from Marin Raba. Faking out Petrovaite and gets the score in open side. And it follows by a timeout from DTS side after Estonians scored 3 points in a row.
Yeah, that's something that should probably have been done, maybe even a point before. But it gives good rest for Estonians, which have a shorter roster. But strategically, probably this is a thing that Lithuanians need to have. Now we see their coach talking to them, trying to suggest some adjustments. Let's see how it goes after this timeout. Lithuanians will be on offense.
Yeah, as Taurins mentioned, the DTS coach Davidas Gaubas is helping the girls out to prepare for this national indoor championship that will happen in Kaunas in December. Lithuanians will play as a women's team. However, this Estonian team is actually part of the mixed team, together with the boys we saw in the previous game.
I'm hoping to hear some more cheering from both sides. The game is not that far. And as I'm saying this, the Estonian fans start to cheer, and I believe Lithuanians will also level the cheering. So for Estonians, there are 3 subs, and on Lithuanian side, we see 2, 4, 6, 7 subs. So they came here with 12 players. So really preparing for European Championships.
Yeah, Estonians trying to go with quality over quantity, I guess. However, their pool goes out of bounds, and they will start from the huge scooper from Petrovaite to get Vilaite, and Bora in the end zone. Very fast break from DTS, and that's exactly what they needed.
I think you noticed the really quick adjustment from Lithuanians on the offense. They started with a horizontal stack, and as soon as they understood that this is going to come in on the break mark, they understood they need to open spaces on both sides of the field for that easy break scuba, and that opened up the game. And then 1-2 point, a quick one from Lithuanians. A good adjustment, reading how this is going to be brought into the game.
Same pool from DTS. It's also a brick, and Estonians will play with a kind of isolated player in the center. There are 2 defenders on her, and Bassos is the one who gets the block. And now DTS have opportunity to break and tie the game again. Get Vilaite. Really high pass, and Bassos reading the disc. Now Lithuanians advancing. Big around swing. Petrovaite looking towards the end zone. Bassos not quite in. Swings it back to get Vilaite. She usually plays in the zone. Quick give and go movement. Very close to the end zone. Around swing. Blade in the end zone, and Bassos scores. Getting the bookend after the defense she had. And 5-5, we are tied again.
A nice and patient offense from Lithuanians. What I want to point out, what I really like about those 2 teams, if you noticed also at the beginning of the point, Estonians started with a horizontal stack, and since it was the break mark where the disc was brought into the game, they switched to vertical and actually switched to 3-2 vertical with 2 players in the stack. Unfortunately, of course, it didn't work that well for them as for Lithuanians in the previous point, but this is a really smart offense, and both the teams are really thinking about how to adjust, how to play better and use the options that the game gives them.
Now Estonians struggling a bit to advance against this flat mark from DTS side. Virge now on the side. Very sharp blade in the end zone, and was almost saved by number 83 Marine Raba, but in the end it was a bit too low. Raznikaite with a swing to Juste. Hairo is backhand, back to Raznikaite. Very sharp forehand to Bora, and a bit too fast even for her.
Now that this is going to be brought into the game at the cone on the open sideline. A bit of collision from Estonians. A straight up force from Lithuanians. making it hard to get the disc to the cutters. Now again on the open sideline, Virga with the disc and a throw into the end zone. And at this point, there is a connection. There is a connection, and the point is scored. This one went up much better than the previous one. There was height, there was speed. It was good red, and defender was actually boxed out a little bit. A good play also from number 83.
Yeah, Marine Rabba with this point, but actually it looks like she's a bit injured. Earlier in this point, even on the left side on our screens, she spread an ankle a bit. It's taped already, and after the point already, you also saw that she wasn't walking properly. Looks like she has some kind of pain in the left foot, but hopefully she will be all right and back on the field.
And again, we see Lithuanians switching from horizontal, but at this point, I think Estonians read the game better, and break Skuber was covered from the cutters defenders. Anyways, the Lithuanians are really close to the end zone already. Now a really floaty throw to the end zone. A close D. Let's see a replay. Yeah, the cutter is really in front. I would have expected a quicker throw and maybe deeper into the end zone to have more advantage, because I think at the first steps there was like a 3 or 4 meter split. At the end, it was a close defense.
Yeah, Gedvilaite really like those give and go cuts, but in this case, she really need to stretch backwards, closer to the defender, but she'll still manage to get the disc.
We see Lithuanians switching to the zone defense to spice up the game a little bit. However, Estonians managing to get over half of the field. Now already in the close to the red zone. However, on the open sideline, but inside backhand gives a good throw, and it's a point. For some reason, I think the fans are not too loud. We hear them once in a while, but considering the game is 7-6 and being tied all the time, I would expect a bit more fans.
Yeah, and there's actually a good reason for that, because usually it's Vorai boys cheering for the girls, but they have the next game. They're also playing in the finals, and they are doing their warm-up now, so maybe that's taking their focus away a bit from this game. But here we have a halftime. Actually, it's 7-6. As we already mentioned, this is a bit longer game, to 13 points or 35 minutes, and we have a halftime on 7, which is actually right now. And Estonians are up by 1 point, so basically they hold. So we're right on the serve. They started with the offense, and they finished the first half with a 1 point lead.
Well, let's see what the coaches from both teams can change in this game. We see on both sides coaches talking with their players a lot. What I already mentioned, I really liked how the teams managed to use the options the game is giving them, like switching from horizontal to vertical, and at some points maybe not doing a structured offense at all, just trying to use a situation that defense is on their heels and cannot quickly react.
Yeah, we saw zone defense from DTS in the last point. They actually used that zone yesterday as well, and in the semis it worked quite good. I would say they surprised opponents in the end of the game, and it really worked. But Estonians they have very experienced players, experienced handlers that know how to deal with the zone. So it might not work in this game. But now we are back after this break. Virga with the pull, and it's break again.
We're seeing a lot of pools being bricked. That's something to think about for the teams in this game, as well as preparing for the Europeans. Now it's a vertical stack from Lithuanians, but we saw that Estonians have adjusted. They have put a defender on the break side to avoid these little scuba breaks. But anyway, it's now working with the legs, not with the handlers, and quick upline cut and a point from DTS to even out.
Yeah, one more point for Gedvilaite in the same corner, just cutting in, just being one step ahead of the defender, and of course the other DTS players are trusting her to score those points and just putting the disc up there, and it works so far. So 7-7, only 14 minutes left to play, and looks like this is gonna be very, very close game. Bora about to pull, and looks like this will be in bounds. Yes, it is. In the back corner, very good pull. Raba now. Nowhere to put it. Last second throw, and it's saved. Immediately advancing a bit, the blade in the end zone, but no one was there.
Yeah, the two players were cutting to the open side, probably both thinking about changing the direction to the break side. The handler saw it, but something just didn't connect. Now DTS with a disc on the sideline.
Bassus with a disc. Fans Gabia. Bora, one-handed grab. Stall count is rising, last second pass. And we can see the coach also saying, just send it to the zone instead of swing in the last second. But still good pressure from Estonian girls. Linz taking a disc. Centers it. Raba. Blade swing around.
We see a couple of Lithuanian players poaching in the end zone, but now all the action was happening at the right side corner. But a smart play from Estonians to walk away from that action to the clear space, a floaty throw, but no options for Lithuanians to get a D. Jans, do you think we're going to see some zone defense from Lithuanians once more, or was it just a try that didn't work and they are going to drop it?
I actually think they will try it again at some point. Maybe not in the next 2 or 3 points, but definitely if they don't get breaks in any other way, it's still one more thing in their arsenal they can try out again. Slamaita with a big blade, and is it in? Almost in the end zone. A hammer. And Gedvilaite scores. Again, 3rd point for her in that same corner.
We see also Lithuanians not only going for the upline scores, but also using the hammers, which is a really effective thing indoors. Also outdoors, if you can manage to master the technique to throw a good hammer, that one just breaks many good defenses. We're hearing some Estonian fans. There's one guy being really supportive. Would like to hear more people shouting.
Yeah, DTS at the moment sticking to the man-to-man defense. And Bora with very close defense, but not quite there. Raba now. Last second throw. Lead have it now. Again, big pressure from Lithuanians. Very high disc. And Šlamaite makes sure the disc hits the ground. She's also the main handler, picking up the disc. Raznikaite with upline Skuber. Bora dumps it back to Gedvilaite. Šlamaite. Blade in the end zone to Bora, but Virga is there, and Bora over Virga with a huge break for Lithuanians, taking the lead.
Bora really leading this point, I think. What I noticed, I think players have had already half of the game behind them, more than half of the game behind them, and the aggressiveness that should be there for the end zone cuts, it's somehow missing. Probably some rest would help both teams to make more aggressive play in the end zone, to ask for those passes in the end zone. But Bora leading her team and taking a point, which was not that easy to say.
And the ball goes out of bounds just before sending the disc in the game. Dovydas Galba stepped on the field, giving some last tips about hammers and blades. And now Estonians give and go, very close to the end zone. Last seconds. In the very last second, she finds a swing. Another give and go try, and very low blade, but still there was a corridor to throw it through, so we are tied at 9.
Yeah, I would say that was Janis' style throw to the end zone. Maybe not as blady as from Janis, but something similar. And Linz with a big experience, when she sees that corridor, she's ready to use it. I believe she's been playing for a really, really long time, so many situations she has been into.
Raznikaite. Basus with a strong undercut. One of the fastest player on the field. Gedvilaite. Backhand to Juste, and barely this goes through, and DTS holds.
Yeah, this should have been recognized by the defense, that there is an isolated player in the end zone. She was standing there for a couple of seconds already, and the defender should just ask for some help, because in these kind of one-on-one situations in the red zone, it's almost impossible to make a D. Just you, as a thrower, you can throw anything in that open space and on the break side, and yeah, so defenses should recognize it and then try to help out.
But of course, it wasn't an easy throw to make. This IO backhand around your defender. Now Estonians starting their offensive point. Virga now breaks the mark with a blade. Back to Virga. Knee goal now. Veske. Back to Nigol. Virge. And very sharp blade in the end zone. And it works.
We have seen this connection previously in the game. So I think these players probably make a lot of work together in practices.
Yeah, we also saw that Bora was poaching a bit off, and she wasn't in time on the mark. And Virge used that very well. Recognized the situation that she has the wide open blade throw in the end zone, and then she's definitely the player that can make those throws. And yeah, she threw assist. Now Petrovaite. Blade to Gedvilaite. Back to Petrovaite. And Reznikaite with the blade in the end zone to Petrovaite, and she scores.
Unfortunately, we see Krista Linz going down. Did you see what happened there, Yanis? What was it?
I'm not quite sure, but it looks like an ankle. At this moment, they're spraying the cold on the right ankle. They definitely have two Estonian boys players there helping out, and Toms also as a physiotherapist is stepping in and trying to help to understand what's wrong. So hopefully she will be okay. And Juste with the pull. Very nice pull from Juste. Big blade in the center. And it's barely tipped away from Aida. Juste. Heidel's backhand to Bora. Around to Juste. And she barely holds the disc. Aida now. Swings back to Juste. Šlamaite to Juste. Not quite in. A big scuba. And Bora again in the end zone. Scores.
So it's 12-10 for Lithuanians. I believe someone from coaching staff is listening to our commentating, because the pulls in the last points have improved drastically. Those were some really good pulls that helped the defense. Let's see how's this one go.
Yeah, Reznikaite is going to be the one that will pull. And both teams are ready. And again, very solid pull at the back of the end zone. Virge. Nice give and go movement. Opening up whole field. Lead now. Raba. Big around forehand. Centers the disc. Again, Estonians like those give and go movements. Lead now. Virge. And breaks around for the score.
What was really great, we can see that when the cutters are going to the end zone and going to the break side where the handler's marker has marked put on the force, the cutters defender is already going to the correct side and not allowing for those really strong hammer throws to go into the end zone, because as we know, if that one goes up, then it's a really high percentage that the score is going to be scored.
So here's the match point for DTS. They need just one more point. Juste. And Julia with a scuba to Bora. Who else in the end zone? and DTS taking the gold in the Rigas Rudens 2022.
What a great preparation for European Championships. We see the whole team cheering, also Vorai, who are preparing for their own final game. And DTS really enjoyed this one. I hope that the spectators also enjoyed the game. It was close to the very end of the game. And unfortunately some injuries on the Estonian side. Maybe also the depth of the roster for Lithuanians was bigger. And with this 2-day tournament with a lot of games, this could have been the game changer. So for the open final, we see warming up Vorai from Lithuania. Let's see how many players they have. Do you know, Yanis, how many players? Let's see on the roster. Let's see, not so many actually. 4, 6, 9 players. However, on Latvia Open 2, or don't judge us if we call them Ventspils. Ventspils, yes, because they are playing as Ventspils in this tournament. But they are preparing for European Nationals as Latvian Open 2.
Yeah, the men's final will start in a couple of minutes, so we're gonna take a small break from now and be right back, so stay with us.